BBC News, I'm John Shea. The head of the United Nations has condemned Russia's invasion of Ukraine as an affront to the world's conscience. Antonio Guterres was speaking at a special meeting of the UN General Assembly in New York. It's debating a motion calling for Russia to pull out of Ukraine immediately and unconditionally. Nada Tawfik reports.
The draft resolution calls for the withdrawal of Russian troops, the restoration of Ukraine's territorial integrity, and stresses the need for a comprehensive, just and lasting peace. Ukraine's Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba urged those in the hall to vote in favor of the resolution and to stand on the side of international law. Russia's ambassador to the UN, Vasily Nebenzia, accused Western nations of trying to destroy his country. He said the draft resolution, if passed, would not encourage peace, but rather allow them to continue what he called militaristic, Russia-phobic lies.
The leaders of NATO countries in Eastern Europe have asked the United States to boost its security presence in response to Russia's war in Ukraine. The countries, known collectively as the Bucharest Nine, met President Biden and the NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg in Warsaw. Poland's President Andrzej Duda made a television address following the meeting.
Zwróciłem się do pana prezydenta Joe Bidena.
I asked President Biden to move military equipment and weapons to specially created places. This proposal of mine was received with attention. It's a much easier decision than sending troops, much cheaper and much easier, because you direct the weapons and you store them. This is not someone to be fed and paid.
The Biden administration says it's extremely concerned by levels of violence in Israel and the occupied West Bank. The State Department spokesman made the remark after a raid by Israeli troops in Nablus left 11 Palestinians dead and about 100 wounded. The Israeli military said its troops came under fire when targeting a militant hideout. The UN chief, Antonio Guterres, warned that the situation threatened progress towards a two-state solution.
The truth is that trends on the ground mean time is working against us. The longer we go without meaningful political negotiations, the farther these goals slip from the reach. Regional and international partners must collectively work with greater urgency and determination to help Palestinians and Israelis restore a credible political horizon.
Iranian state television says a militant linked to an outlawed Kurdish group has been executed. Arash Ahmadi was convicted in 2018 of killing a police major. He was a member of the Marxist Komala group, which has been seeking autonomy for the Kurdish-populated regions of northern Iran since the 1979 Islamic Revolution. Mr. Ahmadi was shown on Iranian TV confessing to being behind the major's assassination. Rights groups say such confessions are often the result of torture. World News from the BBC. A court in California has sentenced a man convicted of killing the American hip-hop star Nipsey Hussle to a minimum of 60 years in jail. Eric Holder shot the rapper 4 years ago in the Los Angeles neighborhood where both men had grown up. Peter Bowes reports.
After a trial last year, Eric Holder was found guilty of fatally shooting Nipsey Hussle in 2019 outside a clothing store the rapper owned in South Los Angeles. As well as first-degree murder, he was also convicted of wounding 2 bystanders. Nipsey Hussle was a rising star, a former gang member known for his musical talents and community activism. He'd worked with artists including Snoop Dogg and Drake and won 2 Grammy Awards after his death. It was a level of success that eluded Holder, who'd been an aspiring rapper in the same community.
The Tesla and SpaceX billionaire Elon Musk has announced he's moving Tesla's global engineering headquarters back to California. The company relocated to Texas just over a year ago. It's unclear what's behind Mr. Musk's change of heart. He's previously accused California of overtaxation. Tunisian police have arrested Chaima Issa, a prominent opponent to President Kais Saied and a senior official in the National Salvation Front. Earlier, Issam Chebbi, leader of the Republican Party and another fierce critic of the president, was also arrested. Lawyers acting for the detained head of a private Tunisian radio station say he's facing politically motivated money laundering charges. Noureddin Boutar, arrested earlier this month, is head of the popular Mosaic FM. The station has long been critical of President Saied. A study in Washington has found that living close to parks or water may reduce the risk of developing mild cognitive illnesses and dementia. The research suggested people specifically living within 0.8 kilometres of green or blue spaces had a 17% lower risk of serious psychological distress. BBC News.